I would like to ask.
Please go ahead, Jussi.
I would like to ask about the mantra. I really liked the Padmasambhava mantra yesterday, and somehow it felt really good, and I've been trying it out now a little bit, and there's something that hard to explain, but something that I like. And a couple of times I've heard that people say that it's useful to bring the mantras to the everyday life somehow. And James was talking about that recording mantra and then listening and singing along and that chanting along maybe. And yeah, so my question is that what would be your recommendation of how to bring the mantras to the everyday life?
You know how you can be working and then you have radio in the background. There's some program and music going on there. And at moments you have to focus on your work, so you're not really hearing the radio. But then you're doing something routine like, and then you don't have to focus on it as intensely, and then you can listen to the radio, laugh at jokes that you hear from it, and listen to the music and sing to the music. So it's exactly like that. That mantra plays in the background in the mind, in your energy system, echoes through your system as much as you want to do it, day and night, day and night. In 2006, that was when I started to look for an alternative path for Zen Buddhism, because it just didn't work for me anymore, despite of backbreaking efforts. That was also backbreaking for me. So I learned about from Yogananda's autobiography. He had like 2 sentences somewhere there, probably in the chapter about Babaji, where he wrote that something like, just thinking about Babaji or saying his name will immediately bring his attention and blessings to you. Something like this, he says. And when I read that sentence, after that, I didn't drop Babaji's name for 2 full years, day and night. So it's just an example that it doesn't really matter if you're doing the mantra for 5 minutes when you go to toilet, or if you sit 15 minutes in the bus, or do it in periods like that, or if your need, and if you feel so deeply about it that you just want to maintain and cultivate and nurture that connection with the guru you're practicing. You were talking about Padmasambhava at all times and everywhere. So it is up to you. But for tantrics, mantra is the main tool, and mantras are to be repeated. And through repetition of mantras, this is actually a very important point, that mantras are not only about repeating. In Tantra, we use the principle in the following way. So, there is, how should I say, like a original pure energy. And this energy is embodied by gurus and deities. Gurus can be approached even without empowerment. Any guru, Padmasambhava, Jesus, Lao Tzu, any of these great masters can be approached without receiving empowerment. And having said that, empowerments for Guru Yoga are also very beneficial, like we have in Rainbow Body Yoga. But for deities, one does need empowerments. Well, there are some deities that don't necessarily need it, but when we are talking about strictly practicing deity yoga within any lineage, then there are empowerments involved. But nevertheless, you know, the form how tantric practice is practiced is that there can be visualization. You know, you can be visualizing Padmasambhava's image like he's depicted in the painting behind me, radiating rainbow lights. So you can visualize him while saying the mantra in your mind, while perhaps using a mudra. This is the Guru Mudra in Amrita Mandala. That also is involved with the empowerment. So you have visualization, image, you have mantra, sound, and then you have mudra, which is like felt sensation. So these three techniques can be, you can use just one of them, two of them, or all three together, like they often are in tantric yogas. But this is just the external, so-called external aspect of practice. And that leads us to internal sensation. External to internal. So external always means that you do something, you create some kind of invitation, or you generate this pure energy through guru or deity. And when that energy is generated, or when that is done properly, it leads us to sensation of feeling blessings and feeling a transmission, feeling a charge of pure energy. Pure energy is called Shakti. Shakti, spiritual energy, pure spiritual energy. So, you know, when we are saying mantras, when we are doing practices, whether sitting like we are doing now or among activities, remember, this is the point that I'm getting to, that this is too rarely explained properly. That when you might be working in your workplace or wherever you're working, whatever you're doing, and you're saying the mantra, there is always an energetic element to it. And this means that we need to remain receptive, open to feel. And we need to be open in a way that we have sensitivity to feel energy. So it is not only like if you think that mechanically repeating mantras without your heart being involved, engaged, without your whole energy being engaged is correct practice. It is not. But now that I mentioned external and internal, there's also so-called secret aspect of tantric practice, which is that external technique leads to internal sensation, leads to recognition of our own basic nature, which is called secret because it is secret for samsaric beings. So that's how it works. Okay?
Thanks. Yes. Thank you.
All right. So at all times, at least 2 years, day and night.
Starting to